BetterCallZaal.
Welcome everyone to our first edition of BetterCallZaal YapZ, and I have Deepa from GrantOrb here with us today, which I'm super excited to chat. How are you doing today, Deepa?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me for this. I'm so excited to tell you about GrantOrb.
Awesome. So I'm gonna just start off with just a couple quick words about what we do, why we're here, because this is the first time we're chatting. So I'm very excited to also share with our community some of the things that I've seen that you guys, what you've created essentially. So at the ZAO here, we're committed to bringing the profit margin, the data, and the IP rights back to creators, and we do that by having weekly meetings where we share our contributions to the space as a whole, whether that be collaborations, innovations, onboarding, and your own contributions. And throughout that, we distribute out a form of a token that's illiquid and soulbound. Illiquid means you can't buy and sell it. Soulbound means you can't trade it. So it's our form of respect in the space, and our goal is to help musicians learn how to build their respect and reputation within the space. So I'm really excited because we've seen a lot of musicians and other creatives look into the grant space but be really frustrated by a lot of different things and challenges with that space. So I think there's a lot of opportunity here. But before we get into GrantOrb, I would love to know a little bit more about yourself and how you got into Web3.
Yeah, I got into Web3 in 2021 when the NFT scene was pretty crazy. And it was like everywhere in the newspaper, New York Times, and like it was so mainstream at that point of time. And so it was out of curiosity that I got into Web3. My background
What,
is,
out of curiosity, was there a specific
yeah,
like brand or like
it
thing
was
that
a
was
specific campaign. So the
okay?
Polygon founder, the Polygon founder, he initiated a campaign to fundraise for India's COVID relief. COVID was very bad at that point of time, and there was a massive outbreak in India, and people were literally
Mhm.
uh, dying because of lack of oxygen. They didn't have the infrastructure.
Okay.
So he said, I'm done. His words were literally like this on Twitter. He put a tweet out, I'm done sitting around. I'm going to raise money in cryptocurrency. And
Oh,
and
interesting.
yeah, and I was
I
like,
didn't know that that happened.
yeah, and I was curious, right? I'm like, how does this cryptocurrency translate into real life impact? Like, can
Yeah.
it buy oxygen? Like, that was my real
Yeah.
question. Like, can it go and save lives? That was my question. And so I got started with that. That was my entry point into crypto. I started a Substack on that very day, and I'm like, I want to talk about cryptocurrency, how cryptocurrency can
That's
save
cool.
lives. And so that was my entry point. And then I tracked a lot of NFT campaigns in 2021. Like a lot of them were trying to differentiate from each other by donating money to causes. So I wrote a lot about those kind of campaigns. So
Mhm.
it was mostly tracking the social impact side of crypto.
Interesting. That's really cool. We have a lot of folks in our community that work on different social impact pieces. So it's really cool to hear that that's how you got into it. Because I think a lot of people find crypto for one ethos or another, for one reason or another, but come to that kind of same ethos that like there's a lot of good that can come from this technology that's been created that the internet has left wide open for security guardrails and like privacy in a lot of different ways, right? So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
There's a lot
So
of good it can do. Like it just literally created money out of nothing. It was Vitalik Buterin donated like $1 billion worth of Shiba coin to that campaign,
yeah.
and it created like half a $1 billion for crypto relief, India crypto relief fund. So it was literally out of nowhere. So it has tremendous power in generating stuff that don't exist and being able to translate that into impact.
Yeah, I think what you explained there also is like the mimetic power of it as well, of like just because he shared this token, whatever value it was at before, it was valued at higher because of all of the impact and like attention and awareness him just sending that does to the token. Other people are coming in buying this token, that price goes up during that thing, right? Like that's the whole mimetic nature of crypto, of kind of putting money on influence and like that attention and awareness. So I think that bring just by him like sending.
Attaching it to a cause, yeah,
Yeah.
attaching anything to a cause just brings more awareness.
Yeah, so it's really cool where like now we have the ability to have a social layer on top of the financial layer of the internet so we can see what other people are doing and kind of like, okay, now I can go. I have a friend, Easy in crypto, and he does a lot of concerts that are geared towards impact projects and bringing those together. And because of that uh, push, he kind of has found ways to support, bring his attention and awareness with music and bringing that support. And like that's kind of like the range of everything we've been kind of looking at is on-chain music. And I think that there's a lot of people in the on-chain music world that are in the position of wanting to do more with their music, but not potentially having the capital to do it. So I think
Mhm.
that's kind of a great place where GrantOrb comes in. Where did you kind of come in? Where in your journey did you kind of start building that
Yeah,
or
so
thinking
it
about
was,
it?
I got into Web3 with this whole curiosity thing and went down the rabbit hole of social impact and Web3. And when in Web3, I realized that grants are very big in Web3. Like, never imagined Web3 will be a space that's so big on grants. Like, I feel like grants power Web3 because people fundraise, then they can pay each other in those tokens. So it kind of creates like a circular economy.
Hmm.
Like I never my first crypto that I ever earned was actually I volunteered somewhere and they just gave me some ETH. But besides
That's
that,
cool.
I fundraised in Web3, and that's how I earned my first cryptocurrency. So it's basically it's big. So grants are a big part of it. And
Hmm.
as somebody who comes from a nonprofit background and has written grants and has given grants out, I was
Yeah.
like reading people's grant proposals on Gitcoin. Like, it's a platform where you can go and it's a crowdfunding platform. You can fundraise. And I wanted to donate to a few projects, and I'm trying to figure out what is it that they're asking money for. Like, they're not able to communicate their ideas clearly. Like, what is it? Like, I don't get a gist of it. Like, what are they asking money for? So, and I'm not satisfied. Like, I don't feel like donating anywhere because they haven't made a compelling case. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like so much of the thing that I as a donor want to know is missing. So I was like, wow, this is like a real skills gap, here. Like,
A hundred
people
percent.
people don't know how to communicate their ideas well. And so that was my starting point. And in 2023, AI was around, but very early. Like, ChatGPT dropped November 2022. And so in 2023, like, I happened to use a few tools, and I was like totally blown away with the fact that you just have to do like 2 or 3 line description and it can blow it out into like multiple pages. And
Hmm.
I was like, how can we apply this technology for the nonprofit space? And
Yeah.
let's start within Web3. And so Gitcoin was a starting point in 2023. They were having their round. Like, they have like specific rounds during the year. And it was in November. They were having one of their you could raise money on Gitcoin platform. And I just created like a very simple tool, like with a little text box. Just come and dump your thoughts about what is it that you're trying to raise funds for. And it's okay if it's not in perfect English. Like, you can be like, this was the first example that we tested out, and I was totally blown away with it. It was this
Yeah.
person from Turkey, like, refugee Turkey, start crypto wallet, educate other refugees, use NFT, raise money. It was literally these
Yeah.
these words, and
Yeah.
it came up with the most beautiful proposal. And I was like, oh my gosh, it can do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's so great. Like, all like the barrier to language to be able to communicate, it kind of gets rid of everything. You can just focus purely on the keywords of your project, and it'll generate that proposal. So that was the
That's
starting
cool.
point. 50 people came and used it, and it was amazing. It was a great experience for us. Like, people from US and Canada and UK used it as well. And I'm like, okay, so these people also don't want to write grants because my English, you have people in like South America or in Middle East, like Turkey, or people with real language barrier,
Yeah,
might to use it, but every like Africa or those people, but people in like English native countries also used it. So I'm like, okay, nobody wants to write grants.
yeah.
Nobody looks forward to writing grants. Let's build this out for the entire world, and that's how GrantOrb got started.
That's really cool. I love that. My favorite thing about that is the like nonprofit background. For me, my like diving into Web3 happened in Portland, Oregon, and when I was there, the culture in Portland, Oregon is a very different city. I was still in the suburbs there, but the crypto people that I met there had weekly or bi-weekly meetings through a DAO, but then also monthly meetings where they just like had random people also showing up, and the culture there was so like regen heavy. So
Mhm.
like getting into the crypto space, like I came in 2023 of February, a little bit after kind of the time you jumped in, where like I kind of came in during the bear where there was like a lot less folks, period. And there was a lot of people there that were focused on like, okay, like this doesn't really make a difference because like there's so many things that we can do right now that are impactful to our local organizations. And like that's just like the mindset I came into, and seeing that as like an opportunity, and like not enough people in the greater Web3, but never mind crypto ecosystem, even know that some of these things are even possible, right? So I think it's really cool that you've created something where one of my goals and things that I want to do for musicians is create tools and opportunities and ways that we can leverage this technology to make them be able to make their music and do that for longer, right? So like take time out of doing the other entrepreneurial pursuits that they need to do to be a successful musician, but like continue to make music. So I think this is a phenomenal additional thing that musicians can leverage, and a tool that they can add to their tool belt that makes it a lot easier to be to do the grant process, right?
Yeah, it definitely, like, it cuts down time. Like, I don't know if anybody, like, artists, lots of artists depends on grants. Like, even in like where I am in Canada, there's Canada Council of Arts, and they have tons of grant programs. Not necessarily you have to belong to like a museum or anything. There are grants for individual artists and stuff like that. And I bet there'll be grants at a more local level, like, there's mural festival, or
Hmm.
there are so many grants, right, like for
Yeah,
artists. And but every time, to unlock those grants, you need to submit a proposal because the funder wants to get to know you better, right?
yeah,
So grants are just a way for the funder to get to know you better and the project that you intend to do. But sometimes writing those things can be so time consuming, and it's something that you don't look forward to doing, like, because it's not
yeah,
what you're designed to do, right? Like, it's
exactly.
it's not, it doesn't come out of passion, like, today I'm going to sit and write grants. So it's something you procrastinate even till date, like, even though I've like designed this system, but because grants have been so in my blood, like, I'm like always like procrastinating. I'm like, even if I know I can, it just takes 5 minutes, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's something like you procrastinate. It's so this thing, but it's become very magical now. It's
It's one
nothing
of
that,
those things that you have to do, but no one ever wants
yeah.
to do it. So
But
being able to
now
do that
it's so
faster.
magical. I see my customers use it, and they don't even think twice. Like, I think twice, like, I'm gonna because I know, like, I have that old thing still stuck in my head. But they
But
come
it's
and they
second
generate.
nature.
Yeah, they come, they
Wow.
generate, and they go. It's like that. It's like come, generate, go with a proposal.
That's awesome. That's really cool. One of my I would be remiss if I didn't ask this Hurricane's favorite question um during meetings is how do you make money with your product?
Yeah, so from the beginning, as I said, I come from the nonprofit space, and I'm so used to doing things or giving things for free, like free, free,
Yeah.
free. But I've realized with this, and I would
Yeah.
highly recommend to people, never try to give anything for free. It doesn't work out in the long run. Be sustainable. And so from day one, made GrantOrb like a priced product. Like it's not free. You can try it out. You can create an instant proposal outline that's free. You can see the magic of the product, but to be able to generate a full proposal, you need to pay. But at the same time, I was very conscious that I want to make it accessible and affordable, because that's my thing. Like, I don't want to rule out people who can't pay, like people in Africa or India or some places. It should be at a price point that's accessible to all. So that was the second thought behind it. And sustainability is very important, because it gives us joy every time somebody buys it, and then I feel like that person is also serious about using your product, right? Like, in the beginning, I did give out few like free, and I felt like a lot of the ones that I give out free credits to them, they never used it. So I feel like people, when they pay, they
Interesting.
value
Yeah.
it more. they they
100%.
they
Yeah.
value it, they want to use it, and it's sustainable for us, because we're putting in so much effort. Like, we're making the whole grant thing so magical. Like, right now it's grant writing, but next week we are also pushing out an agent to scout grants for you, so you don't have to
Very
spend
cool.
time looking for grants.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
just scouts
say
for
like
you.
there's so many pieces to the grant process that like you just creating like a lot of people in the AI, this like AI bubble we're in, create a chat GPT wrapper, call it a product and go from there, right? Like, and let's say call it quits, right? That's a product. But like from taking the LLM, taking that, building something out of it, and then like also then like trying to tackle other pieces of the grant process and automating those pieces as
Exactly. So it's
well
not a it's
is
not a chat GPT. It's
huge.
agentic. It's all agentic, because chat
Yeah,
GPT can't, like, you can still use chat GPT to write your grants, but your whole process will still take time, and you will have to be engaged in back and forth conversation with chat GPT. There
exactly.
might not be any consistency in your proposal. Chat GPT could forget the context, things like that. There are 100 issues that you need to manage. But GrantOrb is an agentic system. You describe your project, you review the outline, and after you say generate the proposal, you can literally shut your laptop and go. You know,
Interesting.
you'll
Then
get an email saying your proposal has been generated. You come back, review it. You want to say make any changes, you can update with AI. It takes 2 minutes, and writing the whole proposal takes about 3 minutes from the time you describe your idea. So it's so fast, and
yeah.
it's amazing. So ChatGPT can't do stuff that GrantOrb does. In fact, on LinkedIn, like, there's been a bit of a chatter around foundations and people being, like, getting flooded with ChatGPT proposals, and they're literally AI slop. If
Yeah.
you
Oh no,
know what I
100%.
mean. So it
Most people don't know how to prompt it well enough for
yeah,
it to be
exactly.
working.
So this is like a no-brainer product. They
Yeah.
don't have to prompt.
So
All they got
geared
to,
towards it. Yeah. They
yeah,
just
so
have the
geared. Yeah,
parameters,
it's
right?
so
So
geared.
like that's really awesome. I love that. I love that. So I guess the next couple questions I would say are more on the product side. So you're the founder. How big's your team? And then like
We
on
just,
top.
yeah, three people. So I have
Okay.
two engineers, and it's me. And my engineers are heavy into AI engineering. Like, that's what they do. They read research, and they make sense of things. And I am managing everything else. Like, I'm the face of it, basically. All the reach outs to the nonprofits, and all the, being on the podcast and things like that. Like, that's what I do. And product, like, I spent enormous time talking to people who are using GrantOrb. Like, I literally
Hmm.
sometimes am on a call, like a Zoom call with them, while they're generating the proposal,
Yeah.
and
And then
then
they
they have
finish
to
it.
take it and submit it to the foundation, and they have to open another website where they actually take the stuff and paste it there and submit. And I just want to understand all the pain points and solve each one of them.
I
So
love
my,
that.
my goal is that soon as the technology evolves, I want to give them a submission agent as well, where they can, an agent opens the browser or the
Yeah.
tab of the of
They
the
literally
grant
just have to
maker.
press those
Yeah,
words
yeah. They
submit.
literally just have to check the work of AI. Like, okay, all the sections have
Yeah.
been filled, all the documents have been uploaded, and then just hit submit.
That's amazing. I love so my background's in automation engineering, so I love like anything that we can do to automate a process. The reason I got into automation was one of the people who was a mentor of mine suggested automation because it's like in this world of more in specifically I was in at that point industrial and manufacturing specifically. He was saying like, you know, the future is robots, but then like just automation as a whole going into that space was like, okay, like everything I'm learning for this industry's automation also applies to every single other industry because you can apply these automation thoughts and processes and concepts to anything else. So like when you bring AI into different processes, finding a place that's a huge pain point, like you said, where no one wants to do it, and it takes time to like big friction points for artists and removing them, like it gives artists a crazy different outlook on the grant writing
That's right.
experience, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
It will remove that friction. My
Yeah,
goal is to remove the friction.
boom. I
That's
love it.
that's the goal. So we, as I said, next week we're going to have like a grant scout agent, like that is actively proactively searching grants based on your profile. So it will be highly tailored to what you do. It won't be right now. The grant search is so exhausting. I can't even tell you. Like you have to
Yeah.
so you probably, even if they're curated lists, like I know there's one person on Substack that does a curated list for artists, right? Like they will send like monthly, it's a paid subscription, and you get a list of grants that are available for artists. But then you might be sitting in Vancouver and you're looking for a grant for yourself in Vancouver, and you'll go through the entire list to only know nothing applies to
Yeah.
you. So you just
That
spend
I
the
I
money,
feel that. Yeah.
and this thing. So it is, all of this is pretty time consuming. So we want to make it highly tailored to you. Yeah, and grants that matter to you comes to you, and then you write them out. It's a no-brainer completely. It's like 5 minutes
That's
doing that. The
awesome.
only time consuming part is taking that information and putting it into the grant, whoever's giving out that grant, into their system. And hopefully we aim to solve that as soon as we have this technology that evolves to like control the computer and open the tabs and things like
Yeah.
that. Like those pieces are still missing right now in AI.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. That's cool. One of my last questions would be then on the aspect of the product and how it works with like, do you guys use a specific LLM? How does your agentic, like what's the back end of that? What kind of what did you build something completely from scratch, completely with the engineers on your own, like or and you leverage LLMs that are out there, or like
No,
how did you guys
it's
go about that
completely AI
process?
powered. So it's completely LLM powered. So we have multiple models working, and
Hmm.
each model has been fine tuned to do specific tasks.
That's
So what I've learned from my engineers, because they read tons of research paper on how to make these models work, is that you need to get these models to focus on minute tasks. Because if you get
mm,
them to focus on bigger tasks, they kind of lose context, and it doesn't work out. So you have to like really train them on small, tiny tasks. So we have multiple LLMs working on tiny tasks. So like
yeah.
one LLM to create forms, one LLM to review the eligibility, one LLM to write the grant, one LLM to
Hmm.
create an outline. It's like a team of LLMs that are
Yeah.
working, and it's all being fine tuned for grants. So it's a specialized product. It is not a generic product. So it is very specialized for grants. It's been fine tuned, trained on the grants knowledge.
Very cool. Very cool. I like that. I like that. Okay. So actual last question, and then it's been an awesome 25 minutes here with you, Deepa, and we'll end it off. Thanks for the couple folks that popped in, or Najee B, Candy. But where are you at now with what do you need help with? Is there anything I can do for you to help you
Get the
along
word
the way?
out. It's a beautiful product. My only, I would say, limitation right now is getting the word out. Like we have bootstrapped. I don't have money to pay for anything, like for marketing, basically, for
Yeah.
ads or whatever. There'll be tons of bullshit products
No, well,
that
that's
they
exactly
will
the
pay for
same way
ads, and you will,
everyone at
yeah.
our in our
exactly.
community. So that's perfect. I think there's a lot of people that we can connect you with that might be other people that, like, I mean, I know at least three off the top of my head that would we could schedule an interview with that have awesome communities that could also ask questions live
That'll
there.
be
So
great.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's I
that's the
think
biggest
that's how
limitation.
we'll set it up. I'll connect you with a couple of them, and one of them even had just popped in. So we definitely I had my interview with him of his season of interviews this year, and that's kind of what inspired me to do this. So shout out to Onaji. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's easy. We can easily do that.
Yeah,
And awesome.
yeah,
Thank
that
you.
yeah,
Thank you for your
it's
time.
a great product, and we've just been growing through word of mouth. So one person learns about it, goes tells 100 different other people, and and so it's just that. But yeah, I would love so many more people to know about it because it will seriously remove all stress from their life and all the complexity around grants, and just they can raise more. What I
Yeah,
want,
we're
I don't know
gonna
if you
try this out
yeah,
today. I
if
know, like
you
with
should
candy.
definitely share the link to my article, because what I had
Perfect.
also
Yes.
said
Do
is
you
that
have it here?
let
Because I
me
can.
grab it. What I had said was that we need to unlearn few things, like you can only do 5 grants, for instance, because those are the things we were limited by our own ability to write more grants, right? But now we are in
Mhm.
the age of AI, and it only takes 5 minutes to write a grant. So you can literally hit 100 grants if
Yeah,
there are 100 grants that are available
applicable to
for
you
your,
and
yeah,
available. Yeah.
exactly. So I was gonna
Yeah, you
give,
change it to now your volume is way higher, so you can just like go like, okay, there is something I can do in this. Let's tailor this to that, right? Like, and go with a crazy high volume and go really specific with the ones you
yeah.
need to.
So I'm gonna how do I
That's
share
crazy.
it in the chat? Oh,
There's a private chat in the
okay.
bottom
Yeah, yeah,
left,
yeah.
I
I see
think.
that. Yeah, I see it.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna share this with everyone here, and then I'm also gonna put it wherever we put a description. So
Okay,
this
great.
is awesome. I'm gonna definitely make sure I save this as well. But yeah, no, I think I'm excited for the new era of grant writing. I think there's so many musicians in our community that I'm just gonna send this recording to. So I appreciate the time, Deepa.
Yeah, thank you so
Have an
much.
amazing rest of your day and
Yeah,
have a great weekend.
you too. Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you. Bye.
100%. Bye.